everyone, I am Shasta Tabassum. I am a student of BPT from Jamia Millia Islamia. I am here to discuss about median nerve. Median nerve is one of the nerve which arises from the brachial plexus. There are so many nerves arises from the brachial plexus, but here we discuss only about median nerve. This nerve is also known as Leber's nerve. So without wasting yours and mine times, let's start. In my case of presentation, I will discuss median nerve under following subheadings. That is, origin and nerve roots of median nerve, anatomy of median nerve course of median nerve endings, motor functions, sensory functions, collateral branches of median nerve, embryology of median nerve, interneural communicating branches, clinical application. Before we start median nerve in detail, let's take an overview in median nerve. So the median nerve is both mixed as well as sensory nerve. It is also called as Leber's nerve. It is classically described as a nerve of pronation of thumb, index finger, middle finger and wrist flexion. This nerve has the sensation for the palmar aspect of the first three fingers. It takes its name from its middle position at the end of the brachial plexus and the forearm. The median nerve arises from the branches from lateral and medial cords in the brachial plexus, courses through the anterior part of the arm, forearm, and hand, and terminates with supplying the muscles of the hand. During its course from its origin at the brachial plexus to its terminal branches, it runs through various narrow passages, where it could be compressed, such as the carpal tunnel or the pronated teres. We will discuss this in clinical application. The root value of the median nerve, that is C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1, in which C5 to C7 arises from the lateral cords of the brachial plexus and C8 to T1 arises from the medial cords of the brachial plexus. Now the origin and the nerve roots. The nerve roots of the median nerves are from the ventral rami of the C6 to T1 nerves. The median nerve is formed by the unification of the medial and the lateral cords. It can be seen as the central line of an M-shaped brachial plexus. We can easily see this M-shaped of brachial plexus in this figure. See this M-shape which is highlighted by blue color in figure. We can clearly see this, and it is surrounded by the axillary artery. The anatomy of the median nerve. See, the median nerve typically starts in the axilla region, but it can also be more distal in the upper arm. It always starts distal to the origin of the thoracoacromial artery. The median nerve starts with the medial branch of the lateral cord and the lateral branch of the medial cord of the brachial plexus merge, which can be easily seen in this figure. From C5, C6 to C7, it arises from the lateral cord, and from C8 to T1, it arises from the medial cord. And both of these cords join together, and here it forms the median nerve forks. And from here, the median nerve starts. Nerve course of the median nerve. During its short passage in the axillary fossa, the median nerve courses behind the pectoralis major and minor muscles and in front of the subscapularis muscles. It leaves this region by going beyond the inferior edge of the pectoralis major muscles and enters into the brachial canal on the medial side of the upper arm. In this canal, it is in front of the intermuscular septum between the biceps brachii and the brachialis muscles. Along this, it descends and crosses the brachial artery in an elongated X or S italic configuration. At its origin, it is on the lateral side of the artery, then passes in front of it and finally stations itself on its medial side at the lower portion of this canal. When it exits the brachial canal, it enters the cubital fossa in front of the brachialis muscle. It courses the ulnar artery laterally in the lower portion of this region. Medial nerve in cubital fossa is separated from the cutaneous layer without involving the lacertus fibrosus, and it makes it extremely vulnerable to penetrating wounds and the anterior side of the elbow. Here it is located between the laceratus fibrosus and brachialis muscles. And the FDP is innervated by both the median and ulnar nerves. Now move to the figure, we can clearly see in laceratus tunnel, median nerve is between bicipital aponeurosis and brachialis. And we can easily see that flexor digitorum profundus is innervated by both the nerve, ulnar nerve and median nerve. Median nerve in the forearm. Now the nerve enters into the forearm and penetrates the pronator teres muscles while passing between its humeral and ulnar heads. So the humeral head is the superficial and the ulnar head is the deep heads. It passes under the flexor digitorum superficialis, that is FDS, and courses between the muscles bodies of the flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus. It is located centrally and descends vertically toward the carpal tunnel. In addition of the flexor digitorum superficialis, FCR and PL, all of whom are innervated by the median nerve. Medial nerve in the carpal tunnel. In the carpal tunnel, the medial nerve has a small artery on its surface, that is the persistent median artery. It is a valuable landmark when repairing a transected nerve. In back, the carpal tunnel is closed by its carpal groove, which is formed by the carpal bones, and in front by the flexor retiniculum, which extend from the hook of the hamate and pisiform on the ulnar side to the trapezium and the scaphoid tubercles on the radial side, where the carpal tunnel is open proximally and distally. It applies a specific pressure which, when elevated above a physiological threshold, can result damage to the median nerve in canal. The carpal tunnel is at its narrowest, about 2 cm from its proximal edge. It is generally here that we will find the nerve morphology to be altered in case of a carpal tunnel syndrome. When the median nerve enters into the hand, it immediately divides into the medial branch and lateral branch. See, this is the dissected carpal tunnel showing median nerve traversing the carpal tunnel with the 9 flexor tendons. The flexor pollicis longus, the 4 flexor digitorum superficialis, and the 4 flexor digitorum profundus. Nerve endings of the median nerve. The nerve ends distal to the carpal tunnel, where it divides into two branches, that is medial branch and the lateral branch. Both of these branches are mixed, sensory or motor. So the medial branch. It gives off the common palmar digital nerve, that is CPDN, which then divide into proper palmar digital nerve, that is PPDN. The latter then give off the ulnar PPDN of the index, radial and ulnar PPDN of the middle finger, and the radial PPDN of the ring finger, along with the nerve to the lumbrical muscles of the third finger. The lateral branch gives off the recurrent branch, which ends at the PPDN of the thumb and the radial PPDN of the index. The PPDN of the index generally gives off a branch to the second lumbrical. So the median nerve enters the palm, passing behind the flexor retinaculum and through the carpal tunnel. And here it immediately divides into lateral and medial branches. Motor functions of the median nerve. The median nerve innervates the majority of the muscles in the anterior forearm and some intrinsic muscles. So the anterior forearm. In the forearm, the median nerve directly innervates muscles in the superficial and intermediate layers. Muscles included in superficial layers are pronator teres, flexor carpi radialis, and palmaris longus. In intermediate layers, muscles include flexor digitorum superficialis. The median nerve also gives rise to the anterior interosseous nerve, which supplies the deep flexors. So the deep layers, flexor pollicis longus, pronator quadratus, and the lateral half of the flexor digitorum profundus. In general, these muscles perform pronation of the forearm, flexion of the wrist, and the flexion of the digits of the hand. Now move toward the figure. This is the anterior view of the median nerve, which easily shows the innervations of the median nerve across the muscles. In hand, the median nerve innervates some of the muscles in the hand via two branches, that is, the recurrent branch and the palmar digital branch. So the recurrent branch of the median nerve innervates the thinner muscles, muscles which are associated with movements of the thumb. and the palmar digital branches innervates the lateral two lumbricals. These muscles perform flexion at the metacarpophalangeal joints and extension at the interphalangeal joints of the index and the middle finger. Sensory functions of the median nerve. Since the median nerve is responsible for the cutaneous innervation of a part of the hand, this is achieved via two branches, the palmar cutaneous branch and the palmar digital cutaneous branch. So the palmar cutaneous branch arises in the forearm and travels into the hand. It innervates the lateral aspect of the palm. This never does not pass through the carpal tunnel and is spread in a carpal tunnel syndrome. Palmar digital cutaneous branch. It arises in the hand, innervates the palmar surface and fingertips of the lateral 3.5 digits. Sensory supply of the median nerve. The median nerve provides non-sensory innervation to the upper arm, the skin over the thenar eminence, the lateral two-third palm of the hand, the palmar aspect of the lateral 3/2 finger, the dorsal fingertips of the lateral 3/2 fingers. Collateral branches of the medial nerve. So from macroscopic point of view, the medial nerve successfully gives off the following branches from proximal to distal. That is, above the elbow, at the cubital fossa, at the forearm, at the wrist. Above the elbow, it gives rise to proximal branch of the pronator teres, a vasomotor branch of the brachial artery, and an articular branch of the hemourinary and proximal radioulnar joints. At the cubital fossa, it gives off branches to the medial epicondylar muscles, that is flexors and pronators, along with the articular branch to the elbow. The classical distribution of the medial nerve at the medial epicondylar muscles consists of two branches for the pronator teres, a common trunk for the flexor carpi radialis and the palmaris longus, and one branch for the FDS. At the forearm, it gives rise to the cutaneous branches and especially the anterior interosseous nerve. The AIN is the main branch of the medial nerve in the forearm. It emerges 18 to 40 mm below the medial epicondyle and passes between the flexor digitorum profundus and FPL, which is innervates before running along the anterior face of the interosseous membrane. Before it splits from the medial nerve, the neurofibers that make it up are located posteriorly, which makes them more vulnerable to injury during supracondylar fractures and posterior elbow dislocations. The AIN courses between the interosseous membrane and the pronator quadratus muscles, which it innervates along with the radiocarpal joint. At the wrist, it gives rise primarily to the volar branch. This branch emerges from the radial side of the median nerve, typically 5 cm proximal to the distal flexion crease of the wrist. At this point, the median nerve frees itself from the underside of the FDS. It provides sensory innervation to the skin of the thenar eminence. Embryology of the median nerve. The embryonic phase starts right after the egg is fertilized and lasts 8 weeks, that is at 56 days. Beyond this period, the fetal phase starts, although the morphological changes are clearly less remarkable than during embryonic life. After neural tube formation, structures called neural crysts appear on either side of the neural tube on the skin. From these structures, cells migrate in a ventrolateral direction to make up the sensory neurons of the median nerve, along with the skin melanocytes called posterolateral migration and cells in the sympathetic nervous system, adrenal glands, Schwann cells migration done by the ventral migration. It is during this migration that interconnection between the various branches of the spinal nerves occur. These various muscles, bone and joint structure that develop as the limb grows bring the corresponding axons with them. Interneural communicating branches. The medial nerve can exchange communicating branches with the ulnar or musculocutaneous nerve. These communicating branches can be found along the nerve's entire course, from the axillary fossa to the palm of the hand. Number 1. Median musculocutaneous communicating branches, that is MMCB. The MMCB consisted of two branches that ran parallel to each other or crossed over. The prevalence is the same in men and women, but it seems to predominate on the left side. The estimated frequency of the MMCB varies greatly, especially since certain forms where the median nerve arises more proximal than the coracobrachial muscles have been considered as the lateral branch of the median nerve. The median nerve and the musculocutaneous nerve were fused together was a connection from the musculocutaneous nerve to the median nerve with a single or double origin. The next one is Martin-Gruber communicating branch, that is MGCB. This is a communicating branch between the median and the ulnar nerves in the forearm. It was first described by Martin and later by Gruber. This communicating branch is mainly a motor branch. However, a sensory role has been described. This communicating branch is unique and arises from the anterior interosseous nerve, then courses behind the FTS. There is no any statistical relationship with the sex or ethnic origin was found. This type of CB formed because the median and ulnar nerves developed from the same embryonic region. Number third, Merneke communicating branch, that is MACB. There is another communicating branch between the median and ulnar nerves at the forearm. Although this one goes in the opposite direction to the MGCB, that it is the reverse of Martin-Gruber. MACB is mainly motor, although some sensory fibers have been found. The presence of MACB may explain the persistence of a normal thinner motor activity despite injury to the median nerve at the elbow. Now move towards the clinical applications. So there are three entrapment syndrome involving the medial nerve or its branches. That is carpal tunnel syndrome, anterior interosseous syndrome, pronator teres syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome. It is a common condition that causes a tickling sensation, numbness, and sometimes pain in the hand and fingers. These sensations usually develop gradually and starts off being worse during the night. They tend to affect the thumb, index finger, and the middle finger. Other symptoms of carpal tunnel syndromes include pins and needles, thumb weakness, a dull ache in the hand and the arm. Basically, carpal tunnel is a space in the wrist which holds tendons and median nerve. This space is compressed in carpal tunnel syndrome, and one of the most prominent symptoms in carpal tunnel is the numbness. Now see in this figure, we can easily differentiate normal carpal tunnel and compressed carpal tunnel. So in compressed carpal tunnel, median nerve is compressed, which leads to numbness. Anterior interosseous syndrome. AINS is a pure motor neuropathy, as the anterior interosseous nerve contains no sensory fibers, so there is no numbness associated with the AINS. In this, patient somewhere mentioned slightly forearm pain. Typically in this, patient fails to make an OK sign because the flexion of the interphalangeal joint of the thumb and the distal interphalangeal joint of the index finger is impaired. There is also a sensitive test, that is pinch test. In this, patient will not able to pinch a sheet of a paper between his thumb and index finger. Instead of clamping the sheet between his extended thumb and index fingers to a tang rather to the clamp. The weakness of the pronator quadratus muscles manifests itself in pronation weakness with the flexed elbow. AIN is caused by the nerve injury or irritation of the anterior interosseous nerve, motor branch of the medial nerve. Rare causes and the symptoms also include thrombosis and embolism of radial or ulnar artery. Some of the potential sites of compressions, that is, fibrous bands of the flexor digitorum superficialis, fibrous bands of the deep or superficial heads of the pronator teres. Have a look on the mechanical test of the anterior interosseous syndrome. In this, patient is asked to make a OK sign by forming a circle with a thumb and index finger. So the median nerve palsy make one hand produce a pinch circle due to weakness in DIP finger and also the hyperextension in the MCPI. We can easily see in this figure. Normal hand produce good OK sign, where the abnormal hand produce pinched OK sign. Pronator teres syndrome. Pronator teres syndrome is caused by compression of the median nerve by the pronator teres muscles in the forearm. Compression of the median nerve in the region of the elbow or proximal part of the forearm can cause pain and numbness in the distribution of the distal medial nerve. and weakness of the muscles innervates by the anterior interosseous nerve. The flexor pollicis longus, that is FPL, the flexor digitorum profundus or the index finger, that is FDP, and the pronator quadratus. Pronator teres syndrome is similar to carpal tunnel syndrome. It is typically excuses the median nerve producing numbness or tingling in the palm, thumb, forefinger and middle finger. Since the well-known condition of CTS also involve compression of the median nerve, many cases of PTS are mistakenly diagnosed as a carpal tunnel syndrome.